Hello everyone, and welcome to a review of the final episode of YuGiOh Brains, episode 120. Now, for those of you that are subscribed to me for my music reviews, do not fret, I'm still doing that. In fact, I do have 2 albums that are in the works of being reviewed. Now, that aside, I'm going to go ahead and jump into this. The conclusion to Playmaker versus I was very satisfying, and I really appreciate the fact that this entire duel, it was very much back and forth. I'm not going to go into spoilers just yet, and I thought it was a very awesome way to end the duel with, rather than having it ends. Okay, without spoiling it, I'm going to say they do end the duel in a way that I really appreciate, that isn't like the way that a lot of the other final antagonist duels end. And you also get more insight on I here, and sort of his motives before, and a bit of a reveal here. And yeah, it's honestly, this duel right here, when I go through my season 3 review, I'm not going to mention this duel as my favorite duel, as I feel that's very unfair to mention the final duel in the season as the best one, because that's usually the one where they want to go all out, so of course it's probably going to be the best. But this was a very phenomenal duel. It would honestly be one of the best in the show. In terms of where it ranks among the other final antagonist duels, I do think that 1000 versus Yuma and Nash is probably still the best one, but this is a very close second. And in terms of ceremonial duels, which this duel is kind of a ceremonial duel while also being a final antagonist duel, it's kind of a weird mix of the both. This one would probably be the best one, honestly. Yes, even over a Tim versus Yugi. There was just a lot of things I loved about this duel. I loved how back and forth it was. It wasn't like one-sided, like how a lot of the final antagonist duels are, where it's just like, it's just ridiculous. And then I appreciate they weren't trying to top on 1000 again, because that's kind of feel like what went wrong with Arc 5 is because they were trying to top him, and it just failed miserably. In terms of the way it ended, it does end on we are kind of left with the cliffhanger, but I'm very overall satisfied with this ending, even if there were some unfinished questions that we do not have the answer to, such as who Miyu is and that sort of thing. It was also kind of bittersweet way to end the show, because now I think about it, it's probably the closest we have gotten in the YuGiOh franchise to a downer ending, without spoiling anything. It very much falls under the, I guess you can say, bittersweet category. Overall, there was a lot of stuff I really did like about this episode, especially the ending where they're showing how everyone's doing, like after the dust has settled, sort of thing, and sort of ends with a teaser like Zexel did. Overall, this is a very good episode, and I do recommend it. And I am going to be reviewing season 3, which now I'm going to get into the spoiler talk. So if you don't want to see spoilers, click away. And I'm going to give to the count of 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright. So, I really liked how this duel wasn't just like spamming on who can have the most highest attack and just like win that way. Like, I really do appreciate that, even though I do really like Zexel. and that was known for spamming that. I do appreciate that this final battle wasn't, sort of who can make the highest attack. I also thought the twist of the battle ending with Decode Talker versus Ai's version of Decode Talker was pretty cool. And in a way, I also found it fairly interesting on how the ending played out, because it's really interesting, because this duel very much you could say has some similarities between Yuma and Nash, but also Judai versus Yubel, and this ending is totally a throwback to Yuma versus Nash, and the way that it ended with in that duel. The duel ending because Yuma stopped an activation of a card. Well, this one ended because I don't know like how to describe it. I guess you can say Yusaku was deliberately trying to lose, but then he ended up winning because of it. But then again, he did activate that. But then again, he did activate a card to counter Aya's card. So it's kind of, I don't know what I was thinking there. I apologize. That was the last 30 seconds were kind of nothing. What else? Oh, and the death scene for Ai is definitely a pretty sad one. It's not, I don't think it's the saddest in the franchise or in the show, but it was pretty sad. And you sort of get a closure on both of Yusaku and Ai's character arcs. And it's really, and then going into the post things and duels, but after the 3-month time skip, I really do like how we see the impact that Yusaku has had on people after opening up on them. I also like the interesting, and then before I get into more of the post time skip stuff, I'd also like to mention I do appreciate the friendship speech that Yusaku gave, because it wasn't like, the ones in the past where it's just like everyone's your friend sort of thing. It's just like some people are going to be there, some people are going to go sort of thing, and that's just how like life goes. So I do appreciate that aspect. Now for the post time skip stuff, I really do like how Vrains has sort of been reimagined, and like there's that little thing at the end where like connecting other worlds, which may be a teaser for the next show. We don't know, because who knows? X landed on a cliffhanger too, and that didn't get resolved. You have the Knights of Hanoi, who are a terrorist group turned vigilantes, which was a pretty cool thing to see, especially Revolver being redeemed full circle. You have, and then Playmaker kind of mysteriously vanished for about 3 months. No one's seen him, which is interesting. And then you just see a bunch of people talking about Playmaker. June speaking was really awesome to see that he's like finally recovered from the last incident. Aoi was it was pretty neat to see her again as well. With pretty much everyone being on the lookout for Yusaku to return again, expecting him to, and of course he does. And there's that little tease of Ai being alive at the end. Maybe Yusaku. My theory is that Yusaku spent 3 months sort of rebuilding Ai and gathering the data he could to do so. And then you have, and then you have Soulburner. How can I forget? What's with Vrains and doing sexual innuendos? I gotta ask. I mean, of course, we saw it with I and Rabapi in like episode 7, but now we have it again. It's like, okay, here it's pretty obvious that they're trying to subtly refer to to refer to sex in a PG manner. Just the dialogue of just the way the dialogue is worded, and the way the scene is framed, where him and QQ, I think is her name, are just like, so the camera's under the bed, and it's like a shot of their feet, and I think she says something that's like, I'm scared, or just something that is very stereotypical in like this scenario, and also they actually become a couple to these two characters, and it's really, which actually means if you look back, this is like the first like official couple with a main character. Actually, second official if you want to count Priest Kaiba and the Blue-Eyed Maiden, but that was more of a past life thing, not actual like present day Kaiba. So that's kind of an asterisk. So this is the first official couple. So that was a big deal. And of course, the song that plays at the end is "With the Wind." Overall, this was an episode I was very happy with. There was a lot of really awesome things that happened. A lot of stuff that, even though there were some loose ends that we didn't see, like what happened to Queen after that, or even who the chess pieces were that were sort of built up and then like nothing happened with them at the start of the show. It was still overall a very satisfying conclusion, and Yusaku is now the sole protagonist to have a undefeated record. Yes, the match with Yusei and Kiryu counts as a loss for Yusei. Don't at me. So, with that being said, I want to hear everyone's thoughts on episode 20 in the comments down below. And as always, I will catch you in the next video. So, have a great day.